it out. So today I'm going to be kind of explaining how you can get almost any tone out of your amp without need of buying any pedals or changing the preamp or anything. It's a basic trick that not most of you know, but I'm going to show you. So right now you just heard the tone I was trying to reach for, which is Metallicas tone. Right now you're gonna hear just the amp itself without that pedal that I used to shape the tone. So this is just the tone of the amp by itself. The only thing I have engaged is the noise suppressor here, and well, this is a PB-XXX. It has 6L6 power tubes and 12 AX7 preamp tubes. So let me show you my EQ settings. That depends a lot, of course, on your guitar and your speakers. Remember, try always to shape the tone based on your ear, not on the numbers. So what I do basically, I start always everything at noon, except the gain maybe. Okay, but I have, for example, here treble is on noon. So what I do is try to find the point where the frequencies start to change a lot. For example, here, if I do a chord, I try to find that point where it starts to get more trebly. So you see it changes a lot. Beyond this point it changes a lot, so that's a sweet spot here. Do the same thing on the mids. So I want them a little bit lower down. This has a lot of mids right now, so find the point also where the mids start to shift a lot. So that's the sweet spot there. It's like on 3 maybe. Same thing for the bass. You want it to have a lot of body or bass, but you don't want it to be like all bassy and not be too clear. You know, you want your tone to be clear. So you just try to adjust it. You do some chugs, some palm mutes. You find that point where you can still do like fast riffs and it sounds clear. Same thing for gain. You don't want too much gain because you're gonna basically be handling everything with your right hand, depending on how hard you play. So you want to also like do a chord and then just move around that gain knob and see until you find that sweet spot. Where you start to hear it like fizzy, that's where you kind of leave it from that point. Okay, so that sounds cool by itself, just like that. So that's depending on which tone you're trying to find or trying to accomplish. But since we're trying to do a Metallica tone right now, I kind of want it to be like that. But then it still needs something extra. So this is an EQ pedal I'm going to be using. Let me show you. This is going to be a EQ pedal, which is going to be connected to the actual amp's effects loop. So it will affect the post. It's going to be a post EQ basically. And you do the same thing. You basically start to move all the knobs around. The knob that affects the most would be the one which is at 800 kilohertz. That's going to be the middle frequencies. And then you also want like the low mids and the lows to be higher, so it can give you that bassy tone. And then the high mids and the highs you want them also to rise. So it's going to be like a V shape on the EQ. And from this, it will sound like this. So this is without the pedal. And this is with the pedal engaged. Just turn down the volume a little bit here. So this is on. This is off. So you see how it changes? It takes off mids, it gives you more bass, more treble. You can, of course, move it around more. But it gives you that Metallica tone from the 80s. You can move it around more. You can add more gain if you need. So you see, I mean, basically you can get any amp tone you're looking for just with an EQ pedal. But you first need to find a good sound with your amp. If your amp is missing gain or it sounds like kind of vintage, you might want to add an overdrive or tube screamer in front of it just so you can saturate the signal. Just turn the level up. The drive, you don't want much drive, depending. And the tone, of course, start always in the middle. But so right now I don't have any overdrive. It's just the amp itself and the EQ pedal and the noise suppressor. That's basically it. That's the tone. This is a PV Tracer guitar with a passive pickup. It's just a stock pickup and it still sounds good anyway. So if you want that Metallica tone, of course you might need some EMGs, but it still sounds good anyway. You want also the noise suppressor to cut off all the noise, all the signal, or yeah, the unwanted noise. So you put the decay all the way to the minimum, the threshold almost all the way to the top. You don't want it to cut any tone, but you want it to cut the noise, the extra noise. So that way when you play, it cuts right away all the noise. And that's basically it. You can experiment, you can start trying with different speakers, different guitars. That would also change your tone a lot. Try always to equalize your amp and your pedal based on your ear. Don't always try to find some setting with numbers. Just try to listen to it, compare it with the original sound you're trying to reach for or get, and that's basically it. You can get this nice tone out of any amp, and you don't have to get any special pedals or anything. It's just it's a basic EQ pedal. This is a cheap Behringer pedal, but it's very good. Direct to the good amp, good guitar. I mean, look, you can get this. So there you go. That's how you get Metallica's tone with an EQ pedal and any amp. Subscribe to my channel, motherfuckers.